Welcome back to Sports Talk with Jordan. I'm joined by Jacob and Ben, and we're going to be talking about NFL teams tanking. Before we begin, an important announcement. All rights go to ESPN, Fox, CBS, NBC, Universal Music Group, the NFL, NBC, NCAA, MLB, NHL, XFL, and its broadcasters. I do not own the music and footage used in this video. No copyright infringement is intended for entertainment purposes only. So now that I got that out of the way, YouTube, please don't take this video down for copyright issues. So, as I mentioned before, NFL teams tanking. Jacob, what's your opinion on this?
I think that no team should tank at the beginning of the season, but if they're in an absolutely miserable situation halfway through the season with no wins so far, I think I then condone tanking. The situation must be.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I do not condone tanking at all, especially from the beginning of the season. And I believe the Dolphins were tanking from the beginning of the season because Brian Flores was reportedly paid by the Dolphins to lose games. But we'll be discussing that in the next part, in the next video on my YouTube, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But unless they're an 0-8 team, and still I don't condone it, or an 0-10 team, 0-9, 0-7, winless or one win, no tanking, it hurts the fans. And I know, Jacob, because you're a Jets fan, you've been seeing some horrible football, and we have too over the past few years, being Giants fans, Ben and I. But it is not okay for the fans, the players, and basically the league to have non-competitive teams on purpose, just not giving it their all in the NFL, the National Football League, where teams are supposed to be competitive. Ben, what's your take on this?
My take is that it's wrong for the fans mostly, because the fans, they don't want to watch a team that's not going to win and that's not even competitive. Like, I'd rather watch my team not win a single game, but actually put their heart out, than watch a team not win a single game, or win a few games, but then start tanking.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just not okay for, especially Jaguars fans, to have a horrible season last year, horrible season this year, and it just does not seem to be getting better. They got the first overall pick, and still not anything happening. What was that, Ben? Sorry.
I think it's not right that these teams that they tank for a few years and then they get all the best players and they become elite. I think that's not right. I think that it's more impressive to be a middle team and then all of a sudden start going on a run and sign better free agents, or to draft in the middle, than to get the top pick every year and then all of a sudden become a dynasty.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Except for the Jets, it doesn't seem to be working.
I have an actual question for you. What position do you think the Giants would pick? Do you think they should go offensive line or no?
Yeah, I think in the draft, the Giants should go O-line. Jacob, where do you think the Jets should pick before we get back to the NFL teams tanking?
I think the Jets should either take a stud lineman or a stud defensive cornerback.
Yeah, I completely agree. Both the defense and O-line were not great. So back to the tanking, since we were talking about the Jets and Giants.
I wasn't done with that. It's just, I think with the Giants two first, I think we should take an offensive lineman and like a tight end or something like that, or a wide receiver to help, because we need someone for Daniel Jones to throw to.
Yeah, I
think we should get rid of him, but not this year. I think we give him a year with protection and see if he's actually worth something.
Yeah, I completely agree. So now back to the NFL teams tanking.
Yeah.
So we're going to play two videos. First was from the final week of the season last year, when the Philadelphia Eagles played the Washington football team, and pretty much this is what happened. Enjoy.
180, what's up?
Drops it. Ball is loose. Young picks it up. Scott is there and rides him out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Oh, can you believe it? They get a big break and then give it right back.
As you can see, the Eagles had their backup quarterback playing for absolutely zero reason, and supposedly they just put him in to, just try him out for the final game. But it was obvious they tried to tank for a better draft pick and not allow the Giants into the playoffs. Because if the Eagles were to have won that game, the Giants would have made it. But now for the next clip from this year, where the Jets play the Buccaneers, and the Jets get embarrassed here. Here's what happens. As you
Wilson
can see
keeps
from
it. I don't think
this
he
video
got
and
it.
audio,
There wasn't much room there.
the Jets
And it wasn't a short
go
yard
for it on
either.
4th
There
down,
was,
and they get
there was a
pretty
lot
much
there in the
nothing
Buccaneer
from it.
defense with the game
The
on the
defense
line.
ends up
What have we talked
stopping
about
them.
all
And
afternoon,
then,
though, in the run
with
game?
the final drive
Where's the
from the
one place you don't want to
Buccaneers,
go? And where they have
they
had
end
the
up
most
winning
success, they've
and
run really well off the
28-24 in
edges.
an
You know,
embarrassing
attacking
Jets
the edges.
fashion. So as you saw from those videos, it just seems like the teams are tanking. And it was reportedly said, and a lot of the fans believe it, that the Jets tanked that game along with the Eagles tanking it. So what's your opinion on tanking individual games just for better draft picks alone?
I think that's also ridiculous.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm going to bring a unique perspective in gambling. Pete Rose in baseball got pretty much a lifetime suspension from the MLB, and he's not in the Hall of Fame because of it. I don't think gambling is okay. Because let's say a coach of a bad team tells their friend, you know what, we're going to purposely lose today to bet on the game. That is pretty much illegal to have control and insiders' information on gambling.
Yeah. It's like, I forget the ref's name. I think it's like Tim Donaghy or something like that in the NBA, but he rigged games for over 2 decades, something like that, and he finally got arrested. Like, he rigged the finals so the Kings would lose in 2002 to the Lakers, and it's just not okay, because it's, like, no one wants to watch it as a fan.
Jacob, what's your take on this coming from a Jets fan?
Yeah, I completely agree. Rigged games are just absolute disgust me as a sports fan.
And sometimes even though they're not rigged, they do seem rigged, especially when the team's not great. So next time on Sports Talk with Jordan, we'll be talking about Brian Flores, his whole lawsuit and his situation, being paid to lose and all of that. But until then, we'll see you next time. But before we go, all rights go to ESPN, Fox, CBS, NBC, Universal Music Group, the NFL, NBA, NCAA, MLB, NHL, XFL, and its broadcasters. I do not own the music and the footage used in this video. No copyright infringement intended. For entertainment purposes only. And with that being said, that's the end of the video. We'll see you next time.
Like and subscribe.
Bye. Like and subscribe, like Ben said.